Hi everyone, so today I wanted to do this video about two things. One, I have an announcement, and two, I want to talk about a tool that you can use to help you deal with fear, and fear in making a decision, a big decision, or a little decision, either one. So the first announcement is I have opened my very own Facebook fan page. It is on www.facebook.com/Simple Intuitive Readings by Ron Schaefer. And you can go there and like it. And if you feel the need, you can book a reading. And now I want to talk about fear. Now, fear is very prevalent in our world. We all have fears about things. My biggest fear was doing the Facebook fan page. I was scared to death to do it. I didn't want to do it. But, I keep on getting this message from the universe of, you can do this, you can do this. Hey, you should probably start doing this. And, not just from my own cards, not just from my own intuition, but from friends who aren't very spiritual. Like my friend Kim. She always says, why aren't you doing this? And she gives me this look and she does this whole thing with her. She just looks and she's like, maybe you should get on top of that. And I'm always like, oh, you're right. Because I can. I know I can do this. If I couldn't do this, then number one, I wouldn't have been doing readings. I wouldn't have people who support me. I wouldn't be doing this. This wouldn't even exist. So what I had to do was kind of go into my fear. And what I had to do was I opened up my notebook and I wrote down what would happen if I failed. What is the worst case scenario? That's all I did. I wrote down exactly what would happen. And so I'm going to tell you what I wrote down. So what I wrote down was, what would happen if my Facebook fan page didn't take off? Well, number one is that I wouldn't have a Facebook fan page. Number two, I would have let everyone down. Number three, I would get into a terrible thing of self-doubt. Number four, I would rethink my life and then I wouldn't be on the spiritual path. I would tell myself that I'm a fraud and a charlatan. I would just be disgraced. I would feel like people would throw me out of like this whole spiritual psychic community, and so forth and so on. And I looked at that and I read it over and then I thought about it. Is any of this really going to happen? Like really, legitimately, is this going to happen? I mean, it can. There's always a possibility. But then I went to the other side of the piece of paper and I started to write down all the positive things that could come of this. So positive things is I meet more like-minded people, which I would love to meet more like-minded people. Number two is that I start doing readings and I start reaching more people. And that's why I did do this channel, is because I want to reach more people. I want to help more people. The next part was that I get to actually do what I love, or another thing that I love, because working at the daycare I work at is something I love to do and will continue to love to do. But I also love the psychic arts and I love learning new things and delving into more of it. And so the next thing that I said that would be super positive is that I'd be able to reach more people, I would meet more like-minded people, I would be able to awaken more people, and I would be able to live at my highest joy, doing what I love. And so after reading the front and the back and looking over it, what I did with the list was, at the bottom of the fears, I started to write down, okay, so all this happens, now what do I do? Well, I rebuild. That's my personality. Personally, I would say, okay, well, this didn't work out this way, so what am I going to do differently? Yeah, I would be depressed about it, I'd be sad about it, but I'd get over it. Because that's just my personality. I don't dwell on negative things. I say, okay, this happened, let's move on. And so I started to write down, what would I do? How would I go on? And so I wrote, I'd be a little depressed for a little bit, but then I would rally and I would delve deeper into psychic development. I would go deeper into intuition. I would try to hone my skills even more because that's just the type of person I am. And I read that over and I thought, wow, even if this doesn't work out, it's still going to give me an opportunity to grow. And I think that is absolutely amazing. And so I really encourage you guys to use this tool and just get a journal. It could be like your fear journal. And you could just download all your fears onto it. And you can write down the worst case scenario. I mean, the worst thing that you could imagine happening. I remember I had one fear about doing this kind of work. And so, my fears were I'd be shunned, my family would throw me out, that I would be on the streets, that I wouldn't have anything, that I'd be poor, that I wouldn't have food, I wouldn't have a house, I would have nothing. And then what I did was I wrote down what would happen if that all happened, and then how would I go on. And so I started to write down, I was like, okay, well, let's say I was on the streets. I know Spirit is always going to take care of me. I know the universe is always going to take care of me. And so that was one of my things. I know the universe is going to take care of me. Even if I don't have a home, Spirit will help me find one if I ask for the help. And then about being poor, Spirit will always give me what I need. Always. And then about my family throwing me out, my family is very supportive of what I do. Surprisingly enough, I know a lot of people don't always find that their families are supportive. My family is very supportive in what I do. Yes, they may make fun and say I'm like Miss Cleo, but they do support me in what I do. So that was another thing. That was a fear that wasn't even real. It was one I was just making up in my head. So that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking with you all soon. Bye.